informative speaker of the morning. Let's give that for Diana.
So the Salton Sea is located about 45 minutes on Highway 86 as if you're going to Calexico. It is part of Imperial County, but most people don't even realize it's there. I can tell you about these waters because I have lived next to them for about 7 years now. Why you should know about this lake? Well, it's because it's one of the many traits of California. The Salton Sea is the largest body of water in California, therefore all of you should know about its presence and its purpose. First, we're going to talk about the past. Second, we're going to go into the bit of ecosystem and how it works there. And thirdly, we're going to talk about the present and a little bit into the future. So first, let's travel to the past. The Salton Sea has existed for over 100 years, and it was before very closely intertwined to the Colorado River. For many years, the Colorado River would fill up the Salton Sea basin and make it a lake, but eventually it would evaporate back into the atmosphere. Many years passed with this fill and drain, till one day the Colorado River overfilled the basin of the Salton Sea, making it a permanent lake too big for the sun to dry up. And I got that information from the article in the saltonsea.california.gov. Once the lake was officially formed, the people came to live there. People began to make a business out of it. They began mining salt and using it as a recreational area. Salt is used for many purposes. It is used to soften water, make roads, and the most common we see it all, we eat it in our foods. And that was gone from the encyclopedia. In 1906, in the Salton Sea History article, a major thing happened. The salt mines fell into the Salton Sea, giving it its name, increasing its solubility. Also in 1906, in a research paper, Seasonal Changes in the Salton Sea, people started putting their irrigation systems into the Salton Sea, making kind of a drainage. So all the neighboring farms around there throw all their chemicals in there. In an interview I had with Francisco Sanchez, a man who's lived there all his life, said, families came to do everything here. They would fish, they would water ski, or just have fun with the family, unlike today. So with stability, anything can grow, right? It wasn't that contaminated. The Salton Sea had an ecosystem consisting of seagulls, pelicans, and fish. It was a chain down to the algae. Ecosystems, as defined by the Webster's Dictionary, is just how organisms interact with their environment as a functioning unit. In the research paper Seasonal Changes, they stated that the Salton Sea has a system very similar to other lakes, except researchers have not gone that much in depth of studying it. Therefore, its ecosystem is kind of unknown. Fish are the ones that are the most affected by this, because with all the contaminants from the irrigation systems pouring in there since 1906, they have become contaminated. By them being contaminated, they're affecting the fish because they're affecting the birds because the birds are eating the fish, like the food chain. Next, we're going to talk about the present with the past and the ecosystem. So I'm going to open up with Mr. Fish here. Here's a little bit about the Bend. I talked about how people would come. There's people in like any old beach in San Diego, right? Here's a bit of the harbor, people fishing. The ecosystem, the seagulls, the pelicans, and the fish. So today, the Salton Sea is mostly forgotten. But recently, a new museum has opened. In the newspaper, West Shores News, the February edition. In the February edition, they stated that a new museum is opening to tell about the legacy of the Salton Sea. The museum is located in Mecca on 72-120 Lincoln Street. This is called the Salton Sea History Museum and Visitor Center. It is open Monday through Saturday, about 10 a.m. to 4. In my interview with Francisco, he said, the beach was beautiful then, it is nothing like it was today. Which brings me to my third main point, today, right? So today, the beach is mostly abandoned. In a documentary, Plagues and Pleasures of the Salton Sea, they stated that the water is being cleaned. However, that water cleaned is not being put back into the Salton Sea. It is taken to places like Las Vegas. You guys have all seen, if you've gone to the water shows, that is water from the Salton Sea. San Diego also takes water from the Salton Sea to use it in their ponds, things they build around, right? So, what happens if people keep taking water out and it's not being put in and the sun keeps evaporating and throwing chemicals in? Eventually, this lake will dry up. Once it dries up, all those chemicals that I told you about and the contamination will be released into the atmosphere. But I'm not going to go too in depth with that because then I'd be telling you to go read. So, let me just show you. In conclusion, I'm just going to summarize everything I just stated to you. So I told you a bit about the past. I told you about how people used to fish there, and then it was intertwined with the Colorado River. And I told you about the ecosystem, how everything works together, but people are not researching it. And I told you about the present. And the pictures, I know it's kind of hard to see, but here are just the seagulls eating the contaminated fish that have been there dead for a long time. The restrooms that were once used as a recreational area for people visiting are just abandoned. The restaurants falling apart. And here, you can't see it that well, it's the beach picture, and it's filled with basically this around the beach. So, today, I told you a bit about a forgotten sea that you should know about because you guys are all residents and live here. And it's at the verge of disappearing, but for today it lived in all of your guys' hearts. So now you guys know about it.